You're trying to find a way to keep a bunch of phones charged and safe during a meeting, a conference, or even just a busy office floor, without having to juggle a mess of cords and worry about someone's device getting knocked off a table. The biggest hesitation most people have is that they've seen fancy charging stations that look good on the spec sheet, but end up being a nightmare to move, a hassle to set up, or just not sturdy enough for the real-world wear and tear of an event. You want something that actually works day to day, that you can roll into a conference room and forget about, and that won't eat up your budget for a feature set you never use. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. What I found when I started digging into portable charging cabinets is that the market is split between cheap plastic trays that barely hold a phone and industrial-grade racks that require permanent installation and a dedicated power circuit. The 40-bit aluminum alloy model from Generic sits somewhere in the middle. It's marketed as a rechargeable phone charging cabinet, which at first glance sounds like a lot of jargon, but the real story comes out when you look at how it's built and how people actually use it. First off, the cabinet has 10 padded slots on each level, and it comes with 2 levels, giving you a total of 20 secure places for phones. The padding is a soft, non-abrasive material that keeps the screens from getting scratched while the phones sit in the slots. That matters a lot in a conference setting where dozens of attendees might be shoving their devices in and out quickly. I've seen cheaper units where the phones slide around and the corners get dinged. The padded inserts in this cabinet keep everything snug. Mobility is another practical factor. The unit sits on 4 anti-scratch wheels that lock in place when you need it stationary. In a typical event, you might set the cabinet up at the back of a room, let people drop their phones in as they arrive, and then roll it to a storage closet after the session ends. The wheels glide smoothly on carpet and hardwood, and the lock-in mechanism is simple: a small lever you flip and the wheels stop turning. That means you're not stuck with a heavy piece of metal you have to lift, but you also aren't dealing with a wobbly cart that tips over if someone bumps into it. One of the hidden trade-offs is the power source. This cabinet is rechargeable itself, meaning it has an internal battery that you charge via a standard AC outlet before the event. Once charged, it can power all 20 phones for a few hours, which is perfect for short seminars or breakout sessions where you don't want to run a power cord across the floor. The downside is that if you're planning a full-day conference, you'll need to either keep the unit plugged in or have a spare battery pack on hand. The internal battery isn't something you can swap out quickly, you have to pull the whole cabinet off its base and plug it into the wall. For most office use that's fine, but for marathon events it becomes a logistical detail you have to plan for. Another practical point is the charging speed. The cabinet distributes power evenly across all slots, but because it's feeding 20 devices from a single internal battery, you won't get the fastest possible charge you'd see from a dedicated wall charger. In practice, phones that are already partially drained will reach a usable level within 30 to 45 minutes, which is enough to keep a presenter's device alive for a talk. If you're expecting participants to leave the cabinet with a full 100% charge, you'll need to give them extra time or ask them to plug in their own chargers after the session. That's not a deal breaker, just something to set expectations for. Who should actually buy this? If you run a corporate training program, a conference center, or a university lab where groups of people constantly need to hand off devices, the combination of padded slots, portable wheels, and a rechargeable battery makes the unit a genuine time saver. It also works well in a medical office where tablets need to be kept clean and charged between patients. The aluminum alloy construction means it won't dent easily if it gets knocked onto the floor, and the anti-scratch wheels protect both the cabinet and the floor. On the flip side, if you're a solo freelancer who just wants a place to charge 1 or 2 phones at home, this is overkill. The price point is higher than a simple dock, and the extra capacity won't be used. Likewise, anyone who needs ultra-fast charging for high-end smartphones will be disappointed, because the cabinet's shared power source is designed for convenience, not speed. From a value perspective, the real savings come from reducing cable clutter and the time spent hunting for a free outlet. In a busy meeting room you often see a tangle of cords behind chairs. With this,